and stone forever!
Leave no dwarf behind.
That's it, lads! Rock and stone!
Rock and stone, yeah!
Believing with or without you.
Rock and stone!
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Deep Rock Galactic. For some of you, those words mean quite literally nothing. 3 average words that to the uninitiated player have 0 significant value. But for some of those out there, those words mean adventure, excitement, and camaraderie. Tested in 2018 and fully released in May 2020 by Ghost Ship Games, Deep Rock has cultivated a large and varied fan base all over the world. I personally started playing Deep Rock about 4 months ago, and in that time I've made some of the best memories of the last decade. This game has hundreds of unique and standout features that capture your attention, from the randomly generated caves to the numerous different loadouts and cosmetics. Deep Rock is a veritable feast of content for everyone. Anyone can get enjoyment out of the game, even if your goals are casual or if you're looking for a challenge. My name is BatchatBegins. My goal in this video is to show you why this game truly made me fall in love with it, and maybe somewhere along the way, you'll find a reason to love it too. The moment you first load into the game, you are introduced to Gunner as the first playable dwarf. Right from the tutorial, you can tell pretty easily what Gunner is all about. Gunner is mostly a heavy weapons specialist who deals with defense and long-range mobility. Gunner helps keep the team together during a crisis. It can make transporting objective items significantly easier. Engineer is next. Personally, Engineer is my favorite class, and if I had to describe him in one video, it would be this. With a varied lineup of unique main and secondary weapons focused on group clearing. Engie is mostly an area denial expert, but can be built to fight single target enemies if the need arises. Moving on, we arrive at Scout, the poster boy for the Deep Rock Galactic franchise. Scout is a physics-defying mobility expert. A good scout can make or break a team. Scouts focus mainly on keeping caves lit for fellow dwarves and collecting important materials needed either for objectives or to resupply the team. Most scout builds will focus heavily on single target damage. Lastly, we arrive to Deep Rock's most infamous dwarf, Driller. It's hard to really define Driller, so I made a little video to try and help explain it.
Bomb has been planted.
All right, everyone, chill.
So I know you might be confused after watching that. Trust me, it's a little confusing to describe him. He's a mishmash of area denial weapons and explosives mixed with 2 giant drill arms that can carve through most terrain with ease. Driller, like Scout, is a leader of the team, connecting tunnels and cave shafts to help the team navigate more quickly and escape with ease. The next feature of Deep Rock we'll talk about is the game's very immersive hub area. Right from the moment your character wakes up, you'll notice the game's expansive starting room, and it can be a little intimidating to navigate at first, so I'm going to help you figure out what all the terminals are used for. On the left, you'll see the wardrobe. Now here you can change everything about your dwarves, from the helmet and headgear to the armor set, paint job, skin color, and various facial features, along with victory stances. The next area we want to come check out is the equipment terminal. This is where you'll be able to purchase upgrades for your character's weapons and gear. Now keep in mind, you will not have access to all the minerals and money that you'll need to fully kit out your character, but you'll be able to access those over time by completing missions. Along with standard upgrades, you'll be able to purchase overclocks later on, which can drastically change the performance of any weapon. Next step is the pickaxe terminal. Now it's pretty self-explanatory. You can basically just change the pickaxe cosmetics. It's not going to change the way the pickaxe functions at all. Moving along, we're headed to the solo player's best friend, Bosco. You get this drone, which has several upgrades that he can use to help you out between mining and reviving you. He can also help you fight. You can also change his cosmetics and style here. Now that we're done with Bosco, we'll go ahead and check out the mission selection terminal. This is where you're going to select missions depending on your assignments, and it can also show you what kind of materials are abundant or scarce in that area. The missions do rotate, and you're able to join other people on missions if you would like to get a sense of what co-op is like. Over here, behind the mission terminal, is the assignment board. This is where you will pick up assignments to unlock different weapons, go on core hunts, and complete weekly priority assignments and promotions. These missions can vary in length, and typically you will net some sort of reward for completing a mission set. Here in the cosmetic shop, you can purchase basically any cosmetic that you can change about your dwarf in the wardrobe, and you'll be able to purchase them for either Phasianite, which is a material that you can find in-game, or for credits and materials. Just to the left is the mineral trade terminal. Here you can either trade minerals in to get credits, or trade credits in to get minerals. There's also a daily deal that we usually give you some sort of discount. Make sure to take advantage of that if you have any spare coin. Just behind these two terminals is the seasonal terminal, where you'll be able to complete the free seasonal battle pass and get cosmetics, along with completing missions for extra seasonal XP. You will be able to get scripts from this, and you'll be able to spend those scripts in the cosmetic tree tab up at the top. Next to the cosmetic tab is the weapon maintenance tab, where you'll be able to unlock specific weapon skins the more you use those weapons. And at the very end, we have the seasonal selector. This is one of the only games that lets you go back and complete all the previous Battle Pass seasons to unlock the cosmetics that were in those seasons. I find it to be one of the coolest parts about the game. Next up is the Forge Terminal. This is where you will take your overclocks that you've received from promoting your dwarves and forge them. This will cost a significant amount of materials and credits, but it can drastically change the way guns in this game function, and it helps you refine your playstyle to your liking. Lastly is the pinnacle of difficulty in this game, which is Deep Dives. Deep Dives are 3 mission sets which need to be completed from start to finish with no breaks. You will have to take the ammo and supplies you had from the start and complete 3 full missions without dying in order to succeed. There are 2 types of Deep Dives, the original and the elite. For each mission that you successfully complete, you will be awarded with an overclock core. The first mission will award you with a blank overclock core, which you can forge into a core of your liking for a specific dwarf. The second mission will award you a specific weapon overclock core for a specific dwarf. And the last will award you with a specific cosmetic overclock core for a specific dwarf. Next to the main hub area is the area known as the Abyss Bar. And here at the Abyss Bar you can purchase some drinks for credits and some for unique crafting materials. Some of the beers will do unique things that you'll be able to check out when you purchase them for the first time. You can also get access to beers that buff your characters. And next to this spot is the dancing floor. And you can absolutely have a great time here, drinking beers and just dancing with your friends. You can also walk out of the small circle area to change the dances, as I'm going to show you here. And some of them are pretty interesting, is what I'll say. If you head back into the pod where you spawned, you'll actually see a fair few terminals in here as well. One of these terminals is the Statistics and Perk Terminal. You'll be able to complete certain mini missions to get perk points, and then be able to spend them on perks. Now these perks do have a tier system to them, so the more levels that you get in a perk, the more effective that perk is going to be. Now behind that terminal is the Miner's Manual. This is a fantastic tool for newer players. It can teach you about the mission types. It can teach you all about the different glyphids and the different biomes. If you ever have any specific question that isn't answered in this video, the Miner's Manual is a fantastic tool to get all of those questions answered in one place. But do keep in mind, you'll only be able to learn about new enemies once you have fought them for the first time. Now heading back into the main hub area, we've got the mission terminal. We're going to talk a little bit about how missions work. You get a main objective and a side objective. The main objective is necessary for completion, and the side objective is optional. As you can see here on this Morkite mission down here, the main objective is collect the Morkite, and then the secondary objective is to collect a resource called Holomite. I would highly suggest when you are just getting started to make sure that you complete both objectives, and you can also raise the hazard difficulty in order to get a better bonus. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about warnings. Now, yellow warnings tend to have a positive and a negative for the mission. Sometimes they can be specifically positive, other times they can be kind of 50-50. But the red warnings specifically, the red warnings are always negative. I can tell you one of my least favorite ones, it's the one on the right there, Haunted Cave. You have a ghost bulk detonator that follows you around the entire time and you're unable to kill him. And I can tell you that can be a real pain in the butt when you're trying to get specific missions taken care of. So we're just going to go ahead and play one of the more standard missions in the game, which is a Morkite collection mission. We're going to do this mission on Fungus Bogs. Now we're going to have Morkite as the main objective, so we need to go ahead and get that 225 before we're able to leave, and we're going to try to do the side objective as well, which is the Bob Barnacles. Welcome to Batchat's Totally Normal Guide on Morkite missions. Now, it's pretty simple with the gameplay loop in Deep Rock Galactic. You've got yourself, the dwarf, and you're going to need Morkite, a material that looks a lot like this. Black with a little bit of green highlighting. You're also going to need to kill the ceiling bugs known as Bob Barnacles. You'll need to kill anywhere between 14 and 16 of these normally. You also have to fight enemies, known as Glyphids. There's a lot of standard variants. So you've got the Glyphid Grunt, the Glyphid Guard, and the Glyphid Stalker. There will also be some flying enemies known as Macteras. Also, there'll be some unique variants that you'll see along the way, but I'm not going to spoil those. You're also going to need to mine Nitra. Nitra is this red mineral. You're going to need 80 of this mineral in order to get a resupply pod called down. And that pretty much sums up how to do a normal mission in Deep Rock Galactic. The platform gun helps you reach hard-to-access areas and has a limited ammo pool, so make sure to use it wisely.
That's what you get for melting my new boots.
In this mission, I'll be using the iLock Smart Rifle with explosive chemical rounds that cause an explosion if I'm able to get more than 3 locks onto an enemy, and the Shard Diffractor with the Plascrete Catalyst Overclock that lets me shoot my platforms and cause an explosion around them. Bulk detonators are one of the largest enemies in the game. They have a large AoE attack that they can do in an area when a dwarf is close to them, and they have a massive explosion radius when they die. Make sure to keep your distance from these dangerous enemies.
Think you can kill me? Don't think again. Sentry's done. Get him, boy. You ugly son of a bitch. Go, get to work.
Keep in mind that you will need to call Molly in order to deposit materials. She can be called using the C button on your keyboard. Inji doesn't have the best in-combat mobility. He does have pretty good vertical mobility to get materials and items, but he struggles when it comes to finding a good position in combat while solo. So make sure to always position yourself carefully and have your turrets down whenever you suspect the group is coming.
Platform up! Praetorian down! Locked and loaded. Spreader did his last dump. Why?
Well, don't you gizzards, team. Swarm incoming. Swarm? Repeat, swarm!
Swarms in Deep Rock Galactic are on a set timer, and that timer is shorter the higher hazard level you go. So just keep in mind, the longer you take in a cave, the more likely it is that a swarm is going to be called on your location.
Get away from me! Save my machine hop to kill you. Platform up!
Utilize Bosco as much as possible. He can mine for you, he can revive you, and he can also be used in combat. The way you utilize Bosco is by holding left control and then left clicking either on enemies or materials.
Thanks, Bosco! Reload.
Contact! Route 4, wait 6, no, 12. A lot of aliens heading your way.
Doors up!
Waves almost over.
Bosco, lost that platform! Boom, baby! Locked and loaded. Time for a dancing lesson. Platform, baby. On ready. Violence. Molly!
Once you call for the drop pod, there will be a brief amount of time before it lands, and then Molly will be called back to it. You can either go ahead of Molly or follow her to the drop pod, but keep in mind that she will need to be recovered first before you can escape.
Here's something for you to play with. Reloading.
The review's been successfully retrieved. Make it snappy, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
Rock on! We fight
Retrieving escape pod.
stone. Rock and stone to the bone.
So that's what a typical standard mission looks like in Deep Rock Galactic, specifically for the engineer class. Now, I would love to have some clips in here from the driller and scout and gunner, and I do have those recorded, but I don't want this video to be too long. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and make sure to let me know in the comments if you would like to see more guides. I'm thinking a guide on enemy types, a guide on separate dwarves, and maybe mission types as well. Let me know if you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.